pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Carlo.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Condit.
Here.
Mr. Molina is excused. Mr. Silverstein.
Here.
Mr. Walter.
Here.
Minutes approval from April 22nd.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Condit. Mr. Silverstein.
Stay.
Mr. Walter.
Yes.
Mr. Carlo.
Yes. Acceptance of financial reports.
Move to accept financial reports?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Condit.
Yes.
Mr. Silverstein.
Yes.
Mr. Walter.
Yes.
Mr. Carlo.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes. Any amendments to the agenda? Once, twice. Comments from the public, 30 minutes maximum time, 5 minutes per person. Raise your hand, state your name and address. Comments from the public.
You're up.
I'm up, okay. I don't have to stand, I'm a number of things.
Name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Carol James. I can't even think right now.
You're worried because you don't have your house
key.
key. You're worried because you don't have your house key.
Well, that probably did it.
I can
Crossings Drive, isn't that
I can
10500 Crossings
You
Drive?
know it.
My apologies.
No.
Yeah, I'll just run them all off. Once again, I'm here because of the flooding across the street from the fire station, and then the next place is my house. I would like somebody, when it's raining, and I will put my boots on, to not raining like last night, of course, but to see where the water's going. Now, I don't want to hear again about across the street from me because I know that story. But still, I moved here in '05, and there was not the flooding. There was water that went across, before the road was paved, across into, what is that subdivision? You know, across the street, Aurora Shores, Lake Pond. The water would go across there. Doesn't do that anymore, so it's backing up, raising, killing trees. And last night I put my jewelry in a container, you know, I didn't know how high it was going to come. And so that's one I would like somebody when it's raining. It doesn't have to be torrential like last night, but to watch it because it does not cross under the street like it used to before the street was paved. So that's an issue for me. Another issue, and I've gone in probably at least 10 feet to 12 last year in the spring, cleaning, raking, and then wildflowers come up, and which helps, I think, growth, but I cannot pull the mess. And it looks holy Toledo. And you can get rid of dead stuff. Pull it to the street, get a chipper. It is allowed,
Yeah, we
you know.
This week we're chipping.
And then another bad thing is the longer those trees are sitting in all the water year after year, they're dead. That's what happened across the street before, you know, it was blocked off. But they're all going to die. And I don't think that's very attractive. And then, of course, I look at the fire station, which I'm glad they're there. They're sorry I'm so close, but they've been very good to me. You know, they really have. And they may be again today.
Yeah.
I also had asked, I'll crawl in the window. I've done it before. They have a small though fireman, and he's crawled in my window too. So no.
And you know what? Everybody should have a small little farm.
Hey, you're
department.
to go with my small window, you
Yeah.
betcha. I talked to Stacy. I wanted Mr. Brubaker's first name. You know, I wanna know
Alan?
Alan Brubaker.
Yeah. Are you
So-
talking about the Summit County engineer, or are you talking about his son?
Who
His son's-
owns the property?
Ty.
Ty,
Ty Brubaker.
T-Y, I presume.
I think he's down north or South Carolina.
He's in South Carolina?
Yeah.
Well, so he has a relative here.
You talk about who owns the property?
Yes.
I think him and his father-in-law own it together. I'm not sure the father-in-law's name, but,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll find out. One moment while I hopefully have glasses here.
You want mine?
Well, they're on my nightstand. Yeah, can I?
Absolutely.
I know you guys
That's
want
what
to
I'm
get
here
out of
for.
here by morning. Thank you.
I don't know if they help.
Yeah,
Good?
they're perfect.
Good. 175.
Yeah, I know I have them. Also, and once again, when I came home and down Glenwood yesterday, and I'll be happy to help somebody, but let's get people out, whether it's the city or we say, come on, to residents of this community, let's make a cleanup day. And let's rake all the leaves and some of the debris. I know then the new houses start, but let's do something about cleaning up and making it look really presentable, because I think, if I remember right, you were 5 square miles, and this is not very attractive along here. And I've never seen anything planted, but the raking, the dead leaves and the twigs, maybe we get the chipper on the same day. And as I say, I'll be happy to help if we get some people, whether it's city or volunteers, to do it. And I know Solon the other day along Liberty, we were cutting trees and had a chipper. I don't know whether we had one or borrowed from other communities.
Yeah, we got chipper. We're having it this week.
Okay. And then the buildings across from the police station, it was a community building. Let's get it painted, okay? And the gazebo, no, seriously, let's make it
I'm
look,
not arguing with you at all.
you know, I mean,
I
a gallon of paint. And the gazebo is,
The gray one? What color?
Come on.
What color you want?
I'd like it taken down. It doesn't even look like the turn of the century is when the gazebos were built. And look at Aurora's, look at Macedonia's,
Yeah.
look at Hudson. We
I like
don't need
pergolas.
something that big, but let's
No, I like
have it.
pergolas. I like pergolas better.
Who's?
The pergolas. You know the.
Oh, okay, pergolas, yeah, something, let's make it.
But here's the problem.
Let's
Let me
start
tell you what the
making our
problem is with the
community more
gazebo.
attractive, huh?
Yeah, you know what's wrong with the gazebo? What the problem is? That's named after a lady. They actually named it after her. And I kind of.
Well, let's make it nicer and name it after her again.
It's just
I know someone built it.
for
I
her. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, let's build a new one and name it after,
Okay.
you know, so, and then the Ohio EPA would be also somebody I would see for this flooding and what's not happening across the street.
EPA or FEMA. Terry can give you that information.
Okay.
Now-
As I said,
now-
I would really,
Did you hear his report that we've hired new service workers? Okay.
no,
That's what he was talking about, that we hired new service department
Okay.
guys, and they're starting to work cleaning up Glenwood.
yeah,
I actually purchased a billy goat that I paid for myself for them to use. If they want to use it, they can use it, which helps chip up stuff.
I mean, particularly you're the mayor, it's a reflection on you. You want to pound your chest and say, hey, look at my community, right?
You know what?
You don't give a darn.
No, I do.
Yeah, you know, let's,
We've come a long way, and we do it together as a team.
yeah,
And you can more than welcome to be a part of that team.
yeah.
I
I've been here
I
9
welcome
years, and I honestly, what I've seen, and probably, you know, under the surface, but I haven't seen much as far as making it look better.
Yeah.
You know, I drive through Twinsburg, you know, and they've come a long way, because when I lived in Hudson, it was like a dump.
Yeah.
And of course Macedonia, you know, I drive through there.
You like
But I
Macedonia?
chose to live here, so,
Yeah, well, just
Yeah.
give us time, we'll work on it, it's a slow process. Yeah.
okay.
Rome wasn't built in 14 years.
Yeah, but, I won't be here unless you hurry it up.
Okay, alright,
Yeah, so I'll make sure somebody also has my phone number.
okay.
Really, if you have something going on, that I bring my rake or whatever, I
Okay.
will do so. I'll give it
Appreciate
to
that.
Stacy.
Please download the new app. We'll
Hmm?
let you know.
Yeah, I have a cheap phone.
I'll have to get you upgraded.
You will? Okay.
Alright, thanks Carol.
Yeah, thank you.
Who's going first, you or?
Should go first.
Thank you.
Rick Williams, 10589 Florida Street, Holland. Like Mrs. Smalley said, we had a CBA meeting and approved some variances for 2 houses in Barrington. And when I went over to look at the one on Jasmine, that's where they had already approved a certain amount of rain barrels. None of them are hooked up.
No, because now they gotta put it all into a storm sewer.
But what in the meantime, these spouting is coming, the first ones that were already approved way back when,
Yeah.
well, in the meantime, shouldn't they be using them?
I don't know, I was there last night, there wasn't an issue with them last night, everything, but then they're putting them in. They're 2 people are holding out. And I told him he's not gonna get any more certificate of occupancies until he gets it done, so they just drain into that
Well, one person, when I was
lake.
over there, they said they had
retention
a
pond.
sump pump that had, I guess, burned up.
Yeah.
And they were pumping water out of their basement, and I thought, well, yeah, spout's just down here, this high off the ground, rain barrel sitting to the side, what good is it doing? None.
None.
I don't even have flowers planted.
It should.
Well, that's what they told us, they could plant on top of
You
it.
can,
Flowers, they didn't have
they're
any.
set up to do that, yeah, they are.
Al Williams, 10589 Florida Street. I can send her my neighbor to help clean up. He cleaned up his yard and the leaves are all in our yard now because he doesn't pick anything up. He just rakes it so they blow. If you want help, he'll come help. But that's not what I
I
wanted
need
to
help
mention.
in that across the street, not my yard.
I was a little upset this month when I received my water bill to discover that the fees on the water bill are more than the water I use.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
They had gone up to $24. When they first started, they were $70. No, it's going to 27 next year. I have a paper that's only out 5 years. They're raising the rates every year, and this rate is going up every year. I hadn't noticed that at the top until I called Stacy to complain, and when I got my paper out and looked again, sure enough, it said it was going to 24 this year. But it's sort of a disillusion because when they came here, I was here when Cleveland Water came, and their rates pretty well matched the rates that we were charging as a flat rate, and it was less. And they most certainly weren't saying, we're going to come back to you people and ask you to pay all these fees on top of these water rates. They gave us a rate for our first unit, and then a rate for each unit thereafter. So now we have a rate for a 6/10 of a unit, and then a higher rate for anything above it beyond that, and then a higher rate again, and now fees on top of it. And out of all fairness, we don't do a lot of watering because this place floods all the time anyways, but if you had to water your lawn, you couldn't afford to do it if they're going to pipe all this in here. And it just seems like it sneaks up on you a little bit at a time. And at the beginning of the year, it was $21. And I wouldn't have noticed it if it hadn't been because of the December, January, February, they used the rate for the year before. And then bingo, I was thinking, I already calculated my water bill and it was more than I thought it was going to be by that amount. And I went to find out why. The other thing I'm wondering about, I know they repaired a water line on Glenwood. How long will it take to have the concrete returned to that area?
Whatever, I'll have Gene just set it up, we'll probably have Tribord do it, so whenever they finish up here.
I assume they'll cut out a square then instead of the
Yep.
rough edge that they left and they filled it in with rock. So that's all I,
Yeah, so I'm not sure that I don't have one more spill down there. Just hoping it's not the main, because it's huge.
and that's why the park has been flooding.
Yep. Anybody else? All right, table legislations, staying table, right?
Yep.
Ordinance 10, 2014 ordinance, emergency ordinance to make appropriation adjustments to the 2014 village budget, second reading. Still saying second reading. Is it still stating at second reading?
We would be okay if we need to go.
Okay.
Be okay.
Resolution 31, 2014, a resolution authorizing approval and adoption of the Summit County Hazards Mitigation Plan, third reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Kunick?
Yes.
Mr. Soshin?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. Carlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hopper?
Yes.
Resolution 39, 2014, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into and execute a memorandum of agreement by and between Dave Yost, auditor of the state of Ohio, Charles E. Harris and Associates Incorporated, and the village of Reminderville, and declaring an emergency.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call, suspension of rules.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kunick?
Yes.
Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kunick?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
When are they planning on starting? This is for the audit. Did
Well,
they say?
it depends if they receive the extension or not. They were supposed to start mid-May. So if they get the extension, it'll be mid-June. Since it's already mid-May.
Resolution 40, 2014, a resolution authorizing a $2,000 donation to the State of Twinsburg Recreation Department for the 2014 Rock Park Summer Concert Series event and declaring emergency.
Move to suspend the rules and pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kunick?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes. Move to pass by emergency.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kunick?
Yes.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Old business. New business.
I have a question for you, Sam. I read in the Twinsburg Bulletin that Twinsburg is going to put in a sidewalk to connect Twinsburg and Solon.
That's part of our deal that we passed a few years back.
Okay. When is that plan to happen?
I don't think it's gonna start till next year. You know, from talking to Amy and Jean, I think there's still a few more hurdles to get through, because they gotta do the EPA inspections and the other stuff, but that's the stuff, I think it was about 2 years ago, I think we,
Yeah,
okayed it. Yeah, it's something we're doing together. all of us.
that'll be nice when it gets
Yeah.
in there.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
People will be able to walk from anywhere in the village up to
yeah,
Reminderville.
yeah. Or you can go the other way to the Solon. You can go to the end and have a burger.
Right, you go
Or Live Aid.
Metro Parks would work out.
They spent a lot of money on the other.
So,
Good, thank you.
any new business? No?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Silverston?
Yes.
Mr. Walter?
Yes.
Mr. DeCarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Kunick?
Yes.
And when they get that finished, you can buy one of those new green cars, they call them tricycles. They're electric with pedals. It was in the paper the other day. They're like $5,000.
Flintstone mobile.
That's like one of those, what do they call them, the cars that have gas in, but they're electric?
Thursday?
When it runs on electric, you can't hear it, when it runs on pedals, you hear it running.
Well, they had it in the paper, one of the professors in Penn State.
Really?
I went, met with her, well, I met with her, it is the way it's organized.
I had one down in Florida.
You know, I'm gonna mark it down, but I'm pretty sure I already have them.
They're really just thinking I'm talking. I can't go.
Yeah.
They got it.
That's what they said, yeah.
I'm used for it.